Discovering community in Lincoln. Why was Lincoln able to develop and sustain a prosperous economy?
When Lincoln was founded in 1780, to determine the citizens' properties, they drew a grid over the current land and gave each square a number. Then they put the numbers in a hat, and each person from the town picked 3 property squares at random. These land plots could be located anywhere throughout the town, so people didn't know what they had got until they explored their land.
The land that people were given using the old land plot system affected whether they went into the farming or logging industry.
The first industry was lumber and logging. The name the Green Mountains came from the fact that the mountainside consisted of mostly spruce trees. The majority of homes built during the 1800s were made of spruce.
The old hotel was originally for loggers. South Lincoln used to be the center of town, but as mills were developed along the river, the town became centralized where it is now, further down the mountain. As we fast forward to the early 1900s, wood products like bobbins were beginning to be produced in mills.
There was a bobbin miller at first. It started back in the 40s or so. And my father-in-law had that. And then the bobbins were kind of going away.
Farmers or loggers, that was, the business in town.
In 1886, there were 15 mills running, mostly sawing rough lumber, clapboards, staves, shingles, butter tubs, and some custom work. In 1890, the Lincoln Lumber Company started up in the center of Lincoln, making dressed lumber, clapboards, barrel staves, and butter tubs. 2 water wheels powered the mill. The New Haven River was a vital resource for powering mills, which resulted in a sustained economy for Lincoln.
In 1938, the President of the United States was Franklin D. Roosevelt. Time magazine had named Hitler the most influential man of the year. We had just gotten out of the Great Depression, but it was also the beginning of World War II. Radios became popular in households so people could hear this news.
Around the 1930s, Lincoln gradually began to change from an industrial town to an artisan cottage industry. Lincoln developed into a very cooperative community, which contributed greatly to its prosperity. Presently in Lincoln, there are no mills or other industrial businesses. Mills, lumber companies, and other businesses eventually moved out of Lincoln to larger towns because there wasn't enough demand for products from Lincoln. Businesses could get more buyers if they were in a more populated and centralized area. For example, Johnson Lumber Company used to be based out of Lincoln, but was moved to Bristol so it could get more business. Recently, a painter named Reed Prescott moved his family-owned business to Bristol in hopes that his work would get more attention.
Now that technology has become more advanced and computers are starting to be used more widely, most of the remaining businesses in Lincoln are home-based. One of the still existent businesses in Lincoln is the general store, which has been able to prosper because of the local customers who visit to get their daily household items, instead of having to leave the town. The earliest Vermont homes were simple log structures, most of which did not last long. As the population grew and became more settled, more homes were needed.
Homes have brought many new families to Lincoln in recent years. People are attracted to Lincoln because it is so community-based. Much of the town's prosperity is due to the cooperation and innovation of the people. Lincoln has been able to use different technologies like mills to utilize resources such as the forest and the river and create a thriving industry. Even as the industry changed, the people of Lincoln adapted to new technologies and found innovative ways to sustain an economy. Lincoln has continued to thrive off an inventive community since 1780. The end. A big thanks to Dave Wood, Linda Norton, Muriel Orvis, Randy Rice, and Dan Adams for their information about the great history of Lincoln. By Ailey, Brittany, Ira, Melanie, and Silas.